Today we're going to be installing part number 90090 from Hidden Hitch on a 2008 Ford Taurus X. The first thing we want to do is get underneath the vehicle and lower the exhaust here on the driver's side. There are two bolts at the bottom of the frame that you need to remove that will allow the exhaust bracket to lower down and out of the way. If your model has a carbon canister on the passenger side, that needs to be lowered as well. This particular model does not, so we can go ahead and skip that step. With the exhaust bracket lowered, we can go ahead and remove it from the rubber hanger here, because later on down in the installation we're going to have to actually cut off this section of the bracket here to allow for the installation of the hitch. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this now to get it out of the way. Okay, with the exhaust down, we can go ahead and Fishwire the carriage bolt and block into the frame. There are two blocks that come with the installation kit. The one that we're going to be using for the hole at the bottom of the frame is going to be the 1 by 3 inch block, and the one for the side of the frame is going to be the 1 by 2 inch block. So you want to make sure you check your blocks before you install them into the frame. From there, we're going to go ahead and feed our fish wire through the hole at the bottom of the frame and out through the access hole near the end of the frame here. From there, we want to put the block onto the fish wire, thread the carriage bolt onto the fish wire as well. We can go ahead and pull them now into the frame and into position. Fish wire through the hole in the side of the frame, down through the same access hole. And from here we're going to do the same thing with the shorter block and carriage bolt. We just want to feed it up into the frame like so, and we're just going to let it sit inside the frame for the time being. We want to keep the fish wire onto that bolt right now. That's going to make it easier to pull it through once we get the hitch up into position. So at this time we're going to go ahead and take the hitch, put it up in position. Okay, as you can see here on the driver's side, we went ahead and put the nut and the washer on the bottom and side fasteners. We want to go ahead and leave those loose, and then we're going to go over here to the passenger side and install the fasteners over there. Over here on the passenger side, we're going to use these non-threaded weld nuts to attach the hitch to. There's one here, and the one on the side of the frame as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the bolts that are provided in the installation kit, and we're just going to start them into the opening here. Kind of get the threads to start, and then wrench them in. That'll allow it to form its own threads inside the weld nut. We want to go ahead and do that in all three positions. As you can see, I've got all three bolts kind of loosely installed here on the passenger side. At this time, we want to go back over to the driver's side and take the exhaust bracket and go ahead and cut off the end piece that needs to be modified so that we can go ahead and put the fasteners back into place that hold the exhaust up. Okay, as you can see, I've got the exhaust hanger bracket in my hand now, and we went ahead and cut off the looped in piece that was on the bracket previously so that it won't interfere with the installation any further. At this point, we can go ahead and put the bracket up into place. We want to go ahead and just realign the holes with the holes in the hitch. We do want to make sure we put a block in between the hitch and the exhaust bracket, and then we can reinstall it with the new hardware that's provided in the installation kit. And again, at this time, we're just going to leave that loosely installed until we get the other bolts tightened down. Okay, we're going to go ahead and torque down the bolts on the side of the frame first. We're going to go ahead and start at the driver's side. This 1/2 inch fastener gets torqued to 75 foot-pounds, as stated in the directions. We're going to go over to the passenger side and torque down the one on the side of the frame as well. This particular bolt gets torqued to 92 foot-pounds. And then next we're just going to go ahead and torque down the ones at the bottom of the frame. I'm going to go ahead and start here on the passenger side. And again, these particular bolts get torqued to 92 foot-pounds, as stated in the instructions. And then back on the driver's side of the vehicle, we're going to go ahead and torque this 1/2 inch bolt down to 75 foot-pounds. And then we're going to follow up with these two bolts that are holding the exhaust bracket on, which get torqued to 25 foot-pounds. Okay, with all the bolts torqued down now, we can go ahead and put our exhaust back onto the hanger. And with the exhaust back up into position, our installation is complete. This will conclude the installation of part number 90090 on a 2008 Ford Taurus X.